Let me show you the chart and see exactly what's going on. This is a very, very intense eclipse. There's a very specific thing that's happening. I'm going to get into it right now. All right. So this is Aries. As you can see, we have a lot of energy in Aries. Okay. Venus is at 4 degrees of Aries, the north node at 15. Of course, south node at 15 degrees as well. The nodes are always perfectly opposite of one another. The head of the dragon going in this direction, the tail of the dragon, this is our past. This is our karma we're letting go of. We're alleviating and freeing ourselves from this and going in this direction. Of course, a new moon, a solar eclipse is a new moon. So the moon and the sun are conjunct together in the same space, okay? And they're conjunct the node. This is what makes it an eclipse. All right, so the node is at 15 degrees, 1923, 1923. And then as you see here, 1924, this little key is Chiron, which is an asteroid in the asteroid belt, a very heavy hitter, a very large asteroid in the asteroid belt. And as we can see here, 1923, 1923, this eclipse is going to be going on longer than the eclipse of 2017. That eclipse in 2017 was in Leo, okay? So these are both fire signs. Leo deals more with self-expression, our creative flair as an individual. I'm going to talk about more about this, what Aries is here in a moment, but I want to show you, watch this 1923, watch the sun and the moon here and what's going on, okay? So this is at 2:19, if you look in the top left corner of your screen, 2:19 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time on Monday, April 8th, 2024. Now when we go to 2:20 here, we see the sun has now moved to 1924, okay? We're only going by minutes, okay? So back to 2:19, we're going to watch the sun move here. Here you go. Sun moves to 1924. Now we're going to go up another minute to 2:21. Okay, so just that right there, this is a longer eclipse because the sun and the moon are moving together. All right, and they're all conjunct here. So not only the sun and the moon, but you have Chiron in this mix, and Chiron in Aries. Then if you look over here, just past Chiron, we have Eris, the goddess of discord, and Mercury in retrograde, both at exact 24, 44, 47. And, you know, later in the day, Mercury is going to, it doesn't take a whole long, let's see here, if we just move hours. Yeah, there you go. Oops. So by, 4:30, Mercury is exact conjunct Eris as well. So let's bring it back to the eclipse time here. All right, so we have an elongated eclipse. It ends there when the moon hits 1925. So at 2:23. All right, so that's 4 minutes, 4 minutes of the eclipse. But now, what does this all mean? What are all these planets conjuncting? Conjunct, of course, means occupying the same space. They're connected together. They're holding hands, if you will. Okay, so what is Aries? What is the sign of Aries? Aries is the baby of the zodiac. It's the fingers and toes. The tip of my nose is all I know. I'm going to go toward the light and go toward what feels good and go away from what feels bad. It's simplistic in a sense, okay? Now, whether you find astrology to be self-motivating or not, this is going to lean into a very self-motivational video, okay? It's the nature of what is happening. It's the nature of where these planets are at. It's the nature of what these planets are. And especially considering Chiron is exact conjunct in the mix. Okay, so the sun represents ourselves. The sun is the hero of the story. The sun is us showing up. Okay, human, you're born into this world. Oh, you showed up. Great job. All right, now your emotions are also a part of this. So our emotions are in Aries connected with our sun as well. So it's almost, again, sort of primal and simple. What feels right, what feels good, what feels bad. All right, and I'm showing up. The sun's showing up. And when we show up in life, there's immediate hardships. There's hurdles. If you're breathing or not breathing, the moment that you're born, the doctor's going to smack you on the butt and you're going to cry, and that pain, the sensation is immediately going to, cause the breathing to kick in. So as soon as we're born into life, life seems to have troubles, right? There's no escaping or no evading this new sensation of like, only good vibes only, right? It's like spiritual bypassing that's not allowing the very realistic elements in our life, which is hardships. Okay. We simply have them and we're born into them. So, hello, human, you're born into this world. You've shown up, your emotions, here we are. Our emotions is the moon, representation of the moon. Okay, our emotions are gonna, like the waves of the ocean, they go up and down and up and down, and depending on what's going on in our lives, if you get an atta boy, atta girl, well done, you feel good. This is a dopamine hit, a little bit of serotonin release, dopamine hits, and it's like, okay, we feel good about something. And then it's like, if we didn't do something good, we feel bad. Somebody else might reprimand us and say, this is something that you've done, son, daughter, employee, brother, sister, lover, whatever it may be. This has done something here that hurts the foundation of our business, the foundation of our relationship, whatever it is. I'm disappointed in you, right? And then that causes like, shame and anxiety at times. All different kinds of emotions can come up with this, okay? This is very simplistic, very simple. There's no evading those emotions. There's no evading, there's this high vibes only, good vibes only thing. It's very unrealistic, and anybody that's trying to live into that space is going to, they're going to project their own insecurities onto other people and blame everybody else for stopping them from being high, good vibes only, right? It's very unrealistic. So Chiron here, Chiron in the asteroid belt, in mythology, if you're not familiar with the story, Chiron is a centaur, like the Sagittarius centaur, a horse body with a man top. And in mythology, Chiron gets his leg stuck in a centaur trap, if you will, right? And he hurts his leg, and then he learns, let's say, Reiki. Then he learns, becomes a master at Reiki. But this healing modality can't heal his leg. So then he learns, I learned about this kind of healing modality, and I learned about this healing modality. So he goes to learn, right? So he's a person of interest, studying and of service, as he wants to be able to heal his wound. All right. He can never do it. He can never heal, according to the mythology. He can never heal himself. But in doing so, all of this studying, he's become the greatest healer. And, knowing every kind of healing, every kind of service to bring ourselves back into homeostasis, to bring ourselves back into equilibrium, to bring our bodies back into peace, to bring a body that's in dis-ease back into a body at ease. Okay? So Chiron is about healing, and it's about learning every single modality to heal, to bring ourselves back to peace. Now, this has been in Aries since 2018, if I do believe. It moved in similarly to when Uranus moved into Taurus. Okay, and Jupiter and Taurus, you can see here, are actually pretty close to conjunction as well. We're going to continue to talk about all of this. That's going to be more of like a breakthrough. Okay, that's like breaking through. Now, there's a pretty good chance from the last eclipse that we had, a week and a half ago, that you could be feeling a lot of pressure. Okay, there's a lot of individuals that are feeling a lot of pressure leading up into this eclipse, because ultimately this eclipse wants great change. Okay, and if you're feeling anxiety, that's telling you to change something. If you're feeling stuck, if you're feeling that you can't get out of the mud or something, this eclipse is giving us every bit of energy that we need to alleviate whatever's going on with us. Okay, this is putting everything back in your lap, my friends. This is literally it's just like, okay, here you're born into this world. It doesn't matter if you're white, black, Asian, Spanish. It doesn't matter what gender you are. It doesn't matter what race you are. It doesn't matter if you were born with the 136 pack of crayons, if you were born with the 4 pack of crayons. It does not matter. You're alive. You're alive. With 8 billion people around. And these 8 billion people have their own idea of how the world works. They have their own concept, their own religious dogmas, their own belief. This is how the world works. This is what love looks like. This is what a man should do. This is what a woman should do. This is how a president should act. This is how this person should act. This is the cause and effect of this. It doesn't matter. This is a clean slate, this eclipse. The South Node in the sign of Libra is about relationships. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you were born in an orphanage or if you were born with parents that had a good loving foundation, or if you were born in a household with screaming parents that divorced each other and were throwing dishes at each other. It doesn't matter. You're alive. You are here. We can blame, we can fixate, and we can say the reason that I am this way is because of X, Y, and Z, and X, Y, and Z all deal with other people and circumstances that might have been out of our control when we were at a different time in life. It doesn't matter anymore. This doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where we came from 100 years ago. It doesn't matter what happened 40 years ago. It doesn't matter what happened in 2019. It doesn't matter what the last election was. It doesn't matter who was the last president. It doesn't matter who's the next president. It doesn't matter how this person wants to identify. It doesn't matter how that person wants to do whatever they want to do in life. There is a bar, okay? There is simply a bar of like letting people be, and then getting involved into it, okay? I don't want to get too much on that, but this is a certain amount of letting people be, letting us be our own unique individuals and selves, and it doesn't matter how the rest of the world identifies us. If I'm identified as a good astrologer, if I'm identified as a jerk, if I'm identified as a nice person, it depends on my relationships and how we connect with one another. We're getting so caught up, right, in how somebody identifies me, and it doesn't matter. This Aries energy here is I have to be secure with myself. You know, to somebody in the world, I'm very unattractive. That's a fact. To somebody in this world, I'm extremely unattractive, and they wouldn't be caught dead walking hand in hand or side by side with me. That's okay. But to myself, I have to believe that I am handsome. To me, for me, right? I don't need external validation. I need to have that fire from the inside out. Now, where I said there's a line here is when we're messing with other people. You know, when we're messing with children, when we're messing with animals, when we're getting, again, I don't want to get too much on this because that's like slightly off, but it's like we need to be able to be so secure in ourselves, in our actions and what we're doing, and walk in a path of light. Okay? Like if we can't do our actions in front of others in the light, then that's up for question. You know? All right, now moving on. Again, it does not matter where we came from, what was our past, what is expected of us in the world. Oh, you're this, then this is your fate, this is your death. None of this stuff matters. Again, everything is 100% on your lap, in your lap. It doesn't matter where we came from, how we got here, or where we're going, or how we thought we were going, where we think we're going. The beating ourselves up, the continuously talking down of ourselves, most of the time is projections of our own insecurities that we're projecting toward the outside world and coming back to us, right? So then what we're doing is we're having a conversation with somebody, or we're having an interaction with somebody, or this is somebody that we work with, or whatever it may be, and that we think in our own minds of what they think of us. We think in our minds and we interpret the conversation that they're having in their mind about us. We're making it all up in our own minds. We're making it up in our minds. We're making up their judgment to us. We're making up their lack of acceptance to us in our own minds. We are the ones that are villainizing other people and claiming the victim. And we can't do that anymore. if this is resonating, if this is hitting, please, I never say this, but give it a like, share, and a subscribe. You know, like we got to share this message with people. We have to have more people know that their love, that their sense of security has to come from the inside out. And it's also doing what it takes. You know, it's like Chiron is this wounded healer. We're connecting with our emotions. We're connecting with the sun, the hero of ourselves. We're connecting with the unseen force. And it's saying, I must show up. I must show up to these hurdles. I must show up and face these hard challenges in life. I can't just turn my back and run away, right? It's like tyranny will persist if good men do nothing. Oh, it's like Martin Luther King, right? Is it evil will persist if good men, do nothing. So it's just like the world is literally in shambles right now. I could go on and on and on about the corruption, I don't want to. But what that means is we need to stand up. And instead we get high, we evade by playing video games, we evade by sex or chasing and scrolling on Instagram and YouTube and all of these things. We avoid the hard work. Well, Aries is saying you have to do the hard work. You have to, if you don't deal with your problems are going to show up on your doorstep. Believe me. So what is the problem? What is the issue? And it's like, if the issue is ourself, projecting blame onto other people, we have to find balance. We have to, again, this I talk about this Aries all the time, right? The goddess of discord, who gives an apple to the 7 muses. And these 7 muses now start to bicker between each other on who's the most beautiful, because that's what the apple says, to the most beautiful one. This is so profound, my friends. The fact that, again, Eris here in Aries, this is about you. This is a relationship with yourself and how you're dealing with information. Mercury is exact conjunct at the same time as this eclipse happening. This eclipse is exactly conjunct Chiron, which is saying, heal yourself. Get your mind right. When people offer you information, how do you choose to deal with it? This is not a test. This is your life. What will you do? How will you act? This is real, And there's so much blaming. There's so much blaming going on in the world. That the reason I'm this way, the reason that my problems persist is because of somebody else. Well, look at the energy here in Libra. Look at the somebody else. This is a direct reflection saying it's back on you, buddy. It's back on you, my friend. This is back on you. How do you deal with this? Okay, so what? Your relationship didn't work out. The person that you loved might love you, but it's just not for the long term. That's okay. You found love. We grow. We can't bury ourselves in the sand and not show our faces anymore. We can't not show up. Like, the energy of Aries is a weed growing through the cement, through the sidewalk. It's like that energy, that is such intense energy. It's like this concrete, and that little dandelion or whatever is just popping right through us. It's like, that's an incredible amount of force. And you have an incredible amount of force in you. You have an incredible amount of strength. And we forget, we dilute it, we numb ourselves. Again and again and again, we numb ourselves. And then we have the blind leading the blind. Let's be honest. You have, there's like a fair amount of like professors, of professionals, of people that really know material that are choosing to share it. Okay. Then we have these other individuals, the confident ignorant, the Dunning-Kruger individuals, okay, that are sharing information. They'll talk about astrology, they'll talk about religion, they'll talk about this, that, and the other, but they haven't done enough research to know what they're talking about. So then it just ends up confusing more people. And we have to sit here and actually sift through which information is proper, which information is not. And that's not easy. It's not easy to say, okay, this one's BS and this one's a little bit more aligning with what it hits home. And some of this, again, is like that spiritual bypassing. Like, it's like, oh, all of this is going to go great and you don't have to do anything. The universe has got it all worked out. The planets are aligning. So all you have to do is sit here and open your hands like this, and enlightenment will be bestowed upon you and you can drink it from your palms. This is a lie. Enlightenment. It's funny, I'm sitting here having a conversation with one of my friends. He's a South African shaman from South Africa, and we both serve ayahuasca medicine and do all this work with plants, and we're talking about enlightenment and just laughing at this concept of once you get this bestowed upon you, you're enlightened. You're awoken, and there's like and the journey ceases. It's like, no, once we have these epiphanies or these aha moments, I don't even want to say enlightened, because enlightened is like a cap, that's a plateau, that's just like, I have hit this and there's no further place to go than here, which is just not the truth. The more you learn, the more you expand, the more you're going to have challenges. The brighter the light you shine, the more shadow you cast. And the more you're wanting to do positive things in the world, the more that you're going to have people hating you on it. The more that's going to say, I don't want to do this anymore. I want to wash my hands of it. I don't want to put out astrology videos anymore. I don't want to do this service, this act of service, right? And then, of course, we have Black Moon Lilith here in active service Virgo. We can talk about this for a minute. Black Moon Lilith in Virgo. It's like the shadow side of our doing acts of service. We need to be doing these things because we love doing them. And if we're, sometimes, friends, we just have to show up and do a job. Sometimes we just have to do a job. That's as simple as what it is. And we have to survive in this world. And if it's your job right now, that's irking at your skin and says, like, I don't want to show up here anymore. I don't want to do this for money. This is a huge calling to you. This is saying, okay, what is the old expression? Cover your ass before you put it out the door, something like that. It's like, make sure that you're covered. You don't just get out there without having any sort of securities right now, because financially, who knows where this world is going, right? And it's like election season and all of this. So it's like, really, who knows where finances and money are coming from. But if it's the job that's like, I can't do this job anymore, I hate this career, this pressure that you're feeling is a huge opportunity to say that you deserve to be someplace else, that you deserve to be putting your energy towards something else, and figuring out what that is up to you. And then let's come back here. We've got Mars and Saturn also creating a conjunction right now in Neptune. Now, Mars is Saturn's best friend, as far as I'm concerned. Okay, Saturn, the task maker here. Saturn is the laws of our physical reality in Pisces, which is dealing with our dreams, our religion, our faith, our belief system, the non-physical world. Okay, emotions, of course, deal with water, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, our watery moon here. In Aries, it's like it's being forced to show up. Okay, so again, that's why this is uncomfortable, because where we want to just become one with the ocean, become one with the oxygen in the air, and have no responsibilities, be taken care of by the universe. This is these two planets here. Mars is action and Saturn is the laws of the physical reality. They're saying, like, look, there's a time for peace, there's a time for relaxation, there's a time to relax, and rest, but there's a time to get up and do the work. And it's striking the hammer and the nail. It's building the fence. It's wash the car, paint the fence. And it's like we have Jupiter and Uranus here meeting in Taurus, which is another grueling aspect. It's like Uranus and Taurus since 2017, 2018 has been a very slow change, And it's like, as well with this, is like we talk about patriarchy. Now, let's look here at Capricorn for a second. This is extremely valid as well in this new moon solar eclipse. Because Pluto here was at 29 degrees for a good chunk of last year. Okay. Which, this is a shifting energy, okay? Capricorn, Pluto in Capricorn is a transformation, we can look at this as patriarchal. Capricorn, patriarch. Pluto being in Aquarius now is about community. This is about knowledge. This is about information. This is about community. Meaning the attention and energy is no longer at the 29th degree, that anerotic degree of Capricorn. And anytime that we're dealing with a 0 degree, the very first degrees or the very last degrees of any sign, you know, it's extremely hyper-focused, okay? So we have this transformation of the patriarch, in Pluto, you know, Pluto right there at that 29th degree of Capricorn. We have to transform, we have to change the patriarch of what it is. You know, it's like, agreed. We have to change the way that our societies, and depending on what country you're watching this from right now, here in the United States, we have to change. There's a lot of things we have to change, okay? And again, with Pluto moving out of Capricorn into Aquarius, this is no longer blaming the patriarchy. We can no longer blame our predecessors for the position that we're in. This eclipse, if we're going to learn anything, it's to stop blaming everyone. It's to stop blaming anything. This is to take matters in our own hands, to connect with the right people, to connect with the right people in your community. Venus creating this little sextile over here to Pluto. By your personal wants and needs, by you having faith, by you, faith up here, by you having a desire, a burning desire in your heart. Okay, Venus in Aries. You having a burning desire in your heart for something, and because you love something so much, it doesn't matter if somebody makes fun of you. I got made fun of for astrology for so long. Nobody makes fun of me really anymore for astrology. And I don't really care if they do. Like, it doesn't matter to me. I love it so much. I'm so passionate about it. And I know that talking about it helps individuals. I know it helps open our minds. It helps connect us. It helps us understand the religious aspects. Like here we had Easter Sunday. It's just like all of what is Easter Sunday? It's the sun passing over the equator. Right, that's what we have here. The sun reaches its height here, and June 21st, the sun descends down. The judgment of Jesus, kissed by a scorpion here, kissed by Judah. Pontius Pilate. This is that's deep sea, armed with spear from the high sea. That's what Pontius Pilate means, armed with spear from the high sea. And Jesus was pierced in the right side, and died on the center of 3 crosses, the cardinal cross of Capricorn, Pisces, Capricorn, Cancer, Aries, and Libra, and then next to it is the mutable cross, and then next to that, of course, is going to be the fixed cross of the zodiac. And then the sun is born on December 25th and meets John the Baptist, and then the 2 fishermen brothers. Then the sun passes the equator. Right? This is the beauty of astrology. And these stories, everybody has a different religion story. And it's funny, I talk about this sometimes with people, and they're like, yeah. And then, Jesus says, like, no, this is it. This is it. This is the story. That's the sun story. The sun story to remember, why are we here? And when does food grow? The mother gooseries of living a good life, the moral and ethical code written in the book of the Bible, right? That's just to live as a good person. And then the rest is a story for us to remember the sun. And the Christians hid this in there so purposefully to wake us up and to let us know about what time it is now. And we have this telephone game, right? And what we're doing is we're listening to everybody else. And it's like, until you do your own research, you can listen to me, but I encourage you to do your own research. We'll meet again. You know what I mean? Like, we're gonna meet here back at this information. So, but we have to be able to do the work ourselves. We have to constantly do the work ourselves. And likewise, like with that, I don't want to upset Christians, right? I don't want to upset Jews. I don't want to upset Christians by saying that their religion is based off the stars, based off of the sun, based off of the way that the sun moves around the zodiac. And we have taken these old pagan and these sun stories, and we have adapted them for the times, right? Now, by me sharing my truth is ultimately going to disrupt and offend other people. It's not my goal to offend other people. Okay, it's just very simple, and I'm talking about this because this is eclipse is important, because this is a part of your journey as well. You're going to do something with all of your excitement, your enthusiasm, and you're going to want to go in a direction. You're going to want to start a business. You're going to want to start a project. You're going to start doing something. You're going to feel more motivated right now during this time and after this eclipse, hopefully for the rest of your life, to be more motivated to start something. And when you start a project, when you start anything, there's going to be an equal and opposing view. Okay, of why you shouldn't start that thing, of why it's the wrong genre of music, it's the wrong color of paint, it's not the right timing, it's this, that, and the other, and oh, you're going to create competition between these individuals. None of it matters. Okay, this is your life. This is the only one that you get. This is the only life that you get. This is the only time that you're going to remember, most likely. This is pretty rare if you're reincarnated and you get to remember your past lives. Usually you lose that at a very young age, even if you do, you know. So it's like, this is it. That guy that you think is handsome that you want to go out with, hit him up. That woman that you think is beautiful that you want to go out with, hit her up. That job that you want that you're uncertain of, go after it. The thing that you want to start, the project that you want to start, that you want to do, go after it. Do it. And don't do, right, like me, what I'm saying here about this is like, I don't want to upset Christians. I don't want to upset, but there's a whole mess of people. Well, for one, Christians and them have no issue telling me that I'm wrong. Like, they have no issue telling me, Aaron, you're wrong for thinking this, and I feel bad for you and you're going to go to hell. Like, Christians do not have a problem saying it to me, which is insanely rude. Anyway. So, as a result, though, of that same mentality, there's literally thousands, if not millions, of people around the world that have fallen away from religion, that are confused and are looking, and they're searching, and they don't understand where did all this stuff come from. And that's why that aspect of astrology is really beautiful. And I'm very happy to play my role in life and my excitement and my enthusiasm, because I was in the same spot as a younger individual, where the church had kind of, the information kind of screwed me up, as it does for a lot of folks. You know, there's a lot of guilt and shame and things like that. And so to have to create an opportunity to shine light on an area and to help other people over here is very powerful, even if it's upsetting and creating turbulence and disruptance over here, right? I have to focus on the individuals that need that help. I can't focus on these folks over here out of respect. This is the South Node right here. South Node is this. I need to go to the North Node over here, which is, this is the direction. This is what I'm very passionately about. This is what I love in life. These are the things that get me excited. They get my emotions excited and fired up. I want to tackle these obstacles. I want to learn about this thing. I want to find where it's hard. Where did other people, fail at this? It's like, I watched this documentary recently about the blue LED, the race for the blue LED. It's very fascinating. And really, it's like 99% of the world said there was like two basically elements that you could create the blue LED from. And the whole world said, it's not this. It's this one over here. And everybody's racing going in this. And this one, I don't remember where the engineer is from, but this scientist, I think Japan, he was like, you know what, I'm going to check out this one. And people are telling him, the CEO of the company is telling him to stop doing his research. Stop your research. Stop your research. You're wasting time. You're wasting hours. He was the one person that created the blue LED. And because of that one person, not listening to the entire world, not listening to his boss, not listening to the person that could fire him, take away his job, take away his house. Well, not really, but you know what I'm saying? Like, lose his house. The whole world is going in this direction, saying this is the answer. This is where we're going to find the blue LED from. And look at the result. The phone that you're watching this on, or the computer screen you're watching this on, is no longer a tube flat screen TV, but it's from a blue LED, blue, red, and green LEDs. So it's like, there is something there about putting our horse blinders on and following our passions. letting go of the past, letting go of what other people's beliefs are, and coming in tune to ourselves, falling in love with ourselves, falling in love with our own little quirks, our own little, not flaws, because they're not flaws. Like, you're perfectly you in a perfect yet ever expanding world, in a perfect yet ever expanding universe. And there's no such thing as an imperfect cloud or an imperfect tree. But there's nothing symmetrical about clouds or trees or plants. You know, they generally grow in all kinds of crazy ways. And the human eye judges beauty by symmetry. And we might look at our own life and look at all of these rivers that have branched off, right? But every river leads to the ocean. So loving yourself, appreciating yourself, appreciating all of your beauty, appreciating all of your challenges, appreciating all of the thorns that coincide with your roses. We all have our own thorn to our rose. We all have our own challenges as individuals. We're all going to face our own challenges externally as well as internally. But with this eclipse, it's saying when we have the internal, when we are internally grounded, when we're internally focused, when we're internally secure in our mind, in our thoughts, in our emotions of the direction that we want to go into, taking lead, taking charge for ourselves, not being passive aggressive, not forcing somebody else to make decisions for what we want in this life for ourselves. And when we find that peace on the inside and our own, then the external world is going to have a hard time knocking us over. It's like we're turning into weebles. Remember that? Weebles wobble, but they don't fall down. Right? When we fall down, we knock over the rest of the forest. When we fall, it's hard. And we need to remember our strength. So if you've been down, if you've been under the covers, get up. Get it together. Get motivated. Remember who you are, why you're here on this planet, what you're doing. Get excited about what you love. It doesn't matter if Jim, John, Joe, Jane, and Stacy don't agree with you, as long as you're not infringing on children and animals, you know what I mean? Do your thing and fall in love with yourself in a very healthy amount of self-love. We're not talking about ego. There's no Leo energy here, right? We're not talking about ego. We're talking about a burning desire of appreciation for self. To look in the mirror and it's saying, it's nice to know you. It's nice to meet you today, self. It's not about the external world anymore. And it never was. And when we're so focused on doing our thing and we're focused on what we need to do, the goals that we need to accomplish in life, we're going to naturally attract the other people that are going to go in the direction and flow in the direction we need, right? Salmon are going to swim with the salmon, and they're going to find their way where they need to go. And if the salmon's getting confused and mixed up with, the trout, you might find yourself in a different pond. So stay true to yourself. Remember who you are. Remember why you came here to this planet, my friends. This is big. I might talk about more of this. This is such a big eclipse. Feel alive, feel excited. I'm serious. And if you're feeling pressure, if you're feeling like any sort of anger, apathy, right? If you're feeling like you can't find the motivation, it just get, in a sense, stop thinking about it and just do it. Put it into action. And that's another part of this Mars conjunct Saturn. Just put it into action. Get up, just do a couple exercises, just do some jumping jacks, do some push-ups, go for that run. Just put it into action. Get out of your mind, get out of our heads, get out of how other people are going to think, how other people are going to perceive us, what if, that, this, and the other, and just do it. And do it because you love it. And when we get the attaboys, the attagirls, or the criticism, take it on the chin, and next time, right? My friends, very, very special time to be alive. This is a very special time to be alive, of this birthing of the age of Aquarius, to be birthing this new age of finding ourselves in an old world. Okay, we are the ones creating this new world, and in order to do that, we have to just be full of love for ourselves, and full of love and the joy that we want to like bring to this world. Instead of looking at the world and saying, "Oh my God, I wish it wasn't like this," or I wish somebody would do something." You are somebody. You are the someone that you've been waiting for. I need a hero. That's you. I love you. I wish you enough. Have a wonderful day. We'll see you next time.